Hello YouTube, me too back with another package and pickup video, and this time something a bit different. It's going to be a car boots pickup. Now, for most people in the UK, I'm sure you're well familiar with what a car boot is. It's the land of car boots. But if you're not from the UK, you might be wondering what I'm talking about. So basically, a car boot sale is where a bunch of people bring cars to a pre-designated venue, typically a field or something like that, where they pay a kind of a set fee for the day, and they sell stuff from the boot of their car. It's kind of like a mobile thrift store, if you will. So, and these are massive in the UK. They're all over the place. Now, a lot of people would say that they've had their kind of heyday. There's resellers kind of ruining it and whatnot. Fair enough, probably true. Now, over in Ireland, we don't really have car boots to that degree. We have them the odd time, and you might see them in some places a bit more prominent than others. They're much bigger in Cork than they would be in other places, but they're really not as big as they are in the UK. So recently, the local school here, they were doing a fundraiser, and so they decided to organise a car boot sale. So I thought, okay, I'll head up and see what I can find out. See if I can find anything good. It's quite warm, so drink it already. And surprisingly, I actually did manage to find a few bits. Now, most of them weren't actually video game related, but as they were sort of nerd-ish items, I said, sure, I'll do a package and pickups video on them, and I can talk a bit about a car boot sale, which makes a change from eBay and damn postage. Yeah, so, well, I actually have something else here that I did pay postage on, but we'll get to that. So, I went around anyway, and there was a few video gaming items. You had your, there was a kind of a fairly dirty beat up Xbox, a couple of PlayStation 2 things and PSP things, sports titles and nonsense. I think they were looking for 3 something for PSP games, and that was in a bundle. If you bought 3 for a tenner type of thing, or it was a £5 each. These are the games you can pick up in CX for £2 and £3. So it's like, they can keep them. But I did actually manage to find one game in the car boot, and this was €1. It's for the Nintendo DS, and it's Cooking Guide. Can't decide what to eat. Is that it? Yeah, can't decide what to eat. And it's one of the kind of training games. So it's in absolutely spotless condition. All there. Looks pretty much brand new. Yeah, it even had the points, and they're unscratched. So I was like, oh, hopefully I can get more points. But nope. They expired last year in December. Which is a pity because I've been trying to save up my points. But all the rest of the stuff's there, the catalogs and whatnot, so I was happy enough to pick it up. It might say, well, that's not much of a game, so it seems like an odd pickup, but I could eat that right now. It's very, very warm here, so a nice little strawberry dessert wouldn't go amiss. But it's a Nintendo game, it's by Nintendo themselves, and I've actually seen it used before. They did a good job in the software, to be fair. They have a reasonable variety of instructions. It's all can be read out to you. You can set it up on a side, and you can use the microphone. They kind of an example here, continue. So the instructions can be read out to you, and you can say continue, and the microphone picks it up and goes on to the next part of the instructions. Yeah, and you can even do things like a shopping list and reminders and whatnot. So it's pretty good, and it has like timer functionality. So a surprisingly good piece of software, more so than the game. There is actually a Game & Watch game included. I think it's like Chef or something. I got a funny feeling it might be unlockable. You have to like cook one recipe or something like that. And by cook a recipe, it just means like click through it. You don't have to cook in real life. It's not, you don't get a free person standing over you. Wait, that's not good enough. I don't deem that recipe to be sufficiently cooked. You're not getting your unlockable Game & Watch game. So yeah, cool. Over 200 international recipes for £1. Better than a cookbook. And as I said, it's Nintendo. Probably 20 years time these things will be going for more than €1. And I mean, when this came out, it was €40 because it came on a bigger cartridge to accommodate the videos, because they show you some videos too, and the voice. So yeah, I was glad I didn't pay €40, and I was kind of always tempted by it because I don't know. Sometimes that thing appeals to me every once in a while. So let's get off cooking and onto some more nerdy items. As I said, there wasn't much other gaming stuff. One reseller basically she had a kind of a box of games, and there was the first basket was a PlayStation 2 Slimline, which like 3 or 4 FIFA games, the type of things that like are literally 10 to 25p in CX. And she didn't give me a price, but was more kind of what you think, and maybe 25, and I was thinking with the type of game she has for a loose PlayStation 2 with basically worthless games, it's 25 is more than enough to be asking for. But her second box I thought was even more crazily priced. She had a loose, fairly dirty Game Boy with no games, no batteries either. I couldn't even test it. A loose Mega Drive 2, again fairly grimy, with FIFA 95 and Aladdin, but it was boxed but no manual. And then she had a PlayStation 1 with 2 soccer games, and the console was covered in stickers again. So she was looking for €100 for the lot. Now I had Everton bar Aladdin, so I was like, that's okay, because she wanted a tenner then just for an incomplete Mega Drive game. It's like, good luck. So to be fair, actually, she was a very nice person, and got chatting about this and that and whatnot. But in terms of price, not exactly going to like score the mother load of hits there. So gaming was no go. But I did find a few other kind of things, and one of them sitting up here, you might be able to see it, and it is a Star Wars TIE Fighter. Of course, I did Star Trek a few weeks back, and how can you be a nerd and not have something Star Warsy? So I seen this in one person's thing, and they hadn't got it out yet. So I asked them how much it was, and they said £3. Has a little stormtrooper sitting inside there. Now, if I said grand, so I'll pick it up because I don't know. I like the TIE Fighter. Fragile ship though, because unfortunately I didn't realise at the time, but one of the ends clocks off, so I need to presumably glue that back on, because this one doesn't come off like that. So I'm guessing there must be something damaged on one end. One of the little must be something that's meant to hold it in place. It's not there, so I just probably put a bit of glue in it. But for £3, I figured it was a decent sized model. I'm sure you'd pay more than that on eBay. Certainly would have postage. And I just thought it might be nice to have in the collection. As I said, I like a bit of Star Wars. Who doesn't? So that was nice. Now they also had a Millennium Falcon. For whatever reason, while I do like the ships in Star Wars, I'm not a mad fan of the Millennium Falcon. So I said to him, or rather he said to me, would you be interested in the Falcon as well? And I was like, well, how much is that? Because we'd agreed on 3 for this. And he said, oh, 5, maybe 6. So I was thinking 5, maybe 6. Well, surely it's you don't put it up, it's more like it's coming down in price, not going up, mate. So I said to him, okay, well how about 8 for the 2? And he was like 10. I'm thinking, well, this is 3 and the Falcon is 5 or 6, then that makes it 9 at most. So I said, okay, well how about 9? He said, no, I can't let it go for anything less than 10. And he started trying to reason, well, it's the Millennium Falcon, and well, to be fair, it did have like lots of figures inside it too, like the Stormtrooper, but many more. And I was like, well, to be honest, I'm not mad into collecting figures and all that sort of stuff, so I was like, I'll just leave it, especially given that his way of bartering seems to be to put the price up, which is a bit different. Starting off at the price is 5 and then keep putting it up. And I just decided he could have it. So that was my first Star Warsy item. Well, actually, technically I picked it up second. I had picked up my favourite pickup of the day, actually, and this was a little model of R2-D2. Of course, he's my favourite of the kind of robot characters, so his legs move about, beep, boop, boop, so he can go that way or the other way, presumably. And let me see, he has some switchy thing. Yep. So his kind of light thing lights up. Can't see if that's going to come out on camera, and you can rotate the light then with this or something as well. So not that I'll ever probably do that, since he probably runs the battery out going, yee, nice. But yeah, this was 50 cents. I didn't bother, you know, bartering on the price. I figured it was 50 pence, and it's R2D2, so I'll just plunk it down. So I'll have him propped up somewhere beside me now. As I said, I like R2D2, so saves me by spending 400 quid on that Star Wars Xbox. And to kind of go along with it, I picked up a little Lego Storm. I think this is like one of the clone trooper type of guys. He's a Lego figure. He's got a jetpack, a gun at the back, and a visor. Now there was a little kid, and he was selling, you know, basically his toys. He'd actually Star Wars toys and whatnot. And to be fair, they were a nice family that were there, very friendly, and did some good stuff in general. Did some tech stuff like video, you know, plug and play things where, you know, put some stuff onto an SD card, plug it in, and hook the yoke up to a HDMI slot and play your videos. Things like that, and they were fairly fair, you know, for price. But you know, the kid was like, you know, obviously didn't, you know, kind of get the car. But I'm sure he was there. He was saving for stuff. You know, he was selling his stuff to save up for something else. And you know, he was like, I was like, how much are the little figures? And I was like, oh, 50, is it 15 cents? And the dad was looking at him going, that's not a great price to start out with. You know, you're never going to make it as a businessman with these type of prices. So he's like 25 cents. So maybe start a little higher, you know. So he's like, we'll say euro, and then he was like, and we'll meet in the middle, 50 cents. So I just gave the kid 50 cents. You know, I was like, he obviously is new to it. You know, he seemed to be doing the reverse, where I was increasing the price and he was decreasing the price. Maybe the guy selling that TIE fighter had just messed with my mind, and now bartering has gone totally backwards for me. So yeah, he can join them too. As I said, I just love Lego, so when I seen they had a few bits, I figured I'd pick one up. I'm a sucker for Lego, and I like Star Wars, so what can I say? So anyway, that's all I got from the car boot sale. As I said, there wasn't a hell of a lot. Like, it's not like the UK ones, but it was nice to have one. That was certainly a nice change. But to kind of round it off, a little more video game stuff. There was a few other kind of Star Warsy items. I picked up ages back but never mentioned it. Star Wars Rogue Squadron on the N64. Now, of course, Factor 5 did a whole series of these games on the N64 and the GameCube, and like they're superb games. And this was in great condition. Let me see if I open it here. So, and like literally, like it was manual was perfect, boxes in great condition, and the cartridge is perfect. The only thing is, and I find this on N64 inserts and SNES ones too. The holder has kind of snapped a little here, so the cartridge slides around a bit, but that's no big deal. Eventually, I'll sort that out. You know, so that was I picked it up on a local retro store. This was, as I said, ages back. It was probably last year sometime. I don't know why I never showed it in a pickups video, unless I did show it in a pickups video, in which case I'm showing it again now. And I think it was $12.99 they were looking for, which, given the condition, I said I'll pay that, because I could tell, you know, the thing about getting a cardboard game in the post is, even if the original listing was a good condition like this, by the time it gets to you, it could be battered. So if you can pick it up locally, and it's for a reasonably fair price for a Nintendo game, I'll go for that. And it's a class game. Electric Adventures a while back, a few weeks back now, I'd say, did a gameplay on it. But I'm sure a lot of people have played the sequels on the GameCube, and they're all great, and they really pushed the N64 and the GameCube like few developers did. I mean, Factor 5 were one of the few people outside of, say, Nintendo and Rare to get any sort of, you know, good performance out of the system. And I like when they come into little dust covers like that from the shop. Helps keep them clean. But keeping to the Star Wars theme, and this is an item. This is one of my first eBay packages I got ages before I even started doing videos, so that's hence why I never shown it. And it's Super Return of the Jedi for the SNES, and I think this was like £6. But if you see, it's like in superb condition. The box is absolutely mint. There's one tiny little ding there, but other than that, it's practically brand new. And it's, my god, is this a rock hard game? I don't think I can get past the second level. And as I said, this was about £6, and I bought a couple of other games at the time too. Oh, I don't have the cartridge. Cartridge isn't even in the box. I tend to, for my Nintendo games, leave the cartridges outside of the boxes, so that I'm not constantly taking them in and out and damaging the flaps and whatnot. So as you can see, like, the manual is completely, barely been read. It's great condition, and it's full color. I love the fact that Nintendo manuals tend to be full color, whereas the Sega ones aren't. So there's not much in it that's colored, but like, there you go, you can see it's screenshot down there. And it did come with, it says it's limited edition. Now I don't know how limited this is. It says includes limited edition poster, and it's the Return of the Jedi poster, which is a cool poster to have. May the Force be with you. I should have done this on May the 4th, shouldn't I? So there we go. I can't see what it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So it's actually a poster for the video set, unsurprisingly, trying to hawk the wares. So you can see actually the 3 posters kind of for 3 movie images merged into one. Great. I mean, whatever you think about the new ones, the original trilogy is top notch. Okay, please stop monkeying with it. I'm sure everyone's kind of off that opinion, but when you look through it, they're good movies. So there we go. That's kind of like just some Star Wars bits that I've either picked up recently or just never kind of shown for whatever reason. And also, strangely, no Master System stuff. Nope, not this week. That is odd, but it's partly down to the fact that it's just getting so much harder to get items, and they're kind of getting expensive to get posted. So it'll be, I'm gonna try and focus on other things local and whatnot to keep the cost down. Anyway, thanks as always for watching. Click to subscribe and all that good stuff, and if you like, please like. Always appreciate it, and please feel free to leave some comments. Again, it's great to hear people's feedback, and was I duped? Should I have picked up the Falcon, with all the figures? I could have hugged it all on eBay and paid for this lot probably. Or was I right to leave it and not just be a reseller? Comments below. Anyway, as I said, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.